So flat roofing versus sloped roofing, commercial roofing versus residential roofing. Which one is better? We're going to dive right into that subject here in this video. Let's get started. So if you're one of our subscribers, thanks a lot for coming back to our channel and checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, let me tell you about myself really quickly. My name is Blenkinsopp. I'm the owner of a company called Digital Roofing Innovations. I'm a U.S. military veteran. I'm a licensed general contractor and roofing contractor in over 9 states. Just wanted to make sure you know that I'm qualified to have this discussion with you. So how convenient for us. We're actually on a roof right now that has both flat roofing and sloped roofing. Now, on this particular project, I'm out here in Denver, Colorado with SkyGuard, owned by a couple of my buddies, Chase Barron and Sean Smith. They invited me to come out while they're doing this project. So on this particular project, what they're doing is taking off DECRA, and there's actually wood shake underneath this. And they're going back with another stone-coated steel shingle, and I believe it's gonna be DECRA again. And they've already torn off the PVC and EPDM system here on the flat roofing part and put down TPO. Now, in this particular video, I just want to talk a little bit about what's the difference between sloped roofing and flat roofing, and then the difference between it's doing residential and commercial. Okay, so if you're a roofing contractor, you may specifically do one type of roofing projects, and that's totally fine. You can be really, really great in one niche, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're a contractor who wants to do things in other niches, maybe you've been doing residential for a long time and you want to get into commercial. As you know, if you want to go from sloped roofing to flat roofing, that's where a lot of the commercial work is going to be. Now, there's still commercial sloped roofing, but a lot of the commercial roofing is, flat roofing. And so one of the positives about doing just sloped roofing is it's very easy to find crews to do sloped roofing. Typically, you're doing a lot of residential stuff, so you're going to get paid faster on those jobs. The downside of that is you're also going to have to deal with a little bit more homeowners, so the money flows a little bit differently, and you're going to be kind of personally responsible for making sure that you're getting paid. So whether you're a self-employed type of person or you have an office staff, you're going to have to be making sure that you're staying on those customers all the time and making sure you get paid. Now, when it comes to flat roofing, there are flat roofing residential projects, but most of the flat roofing projects are going to be more of your commercial base. Now, one of the things that's a little bit more difficult on flat roofing is there's not a lot of great subcontracting crews out there to do the jobs. It's a little bit more harder to find crews. Another thing is you're probably going to have a little bit more money up front, because some of these flat roofing jobs can be very, very expensive. So if you don't have the bankroll to be able to start doing flat roofing, you may have to stay in residential or just doing sloped roofing to get your bankroll up, so where you can start doing more flat roofing projects. It's not only about cash, you also can use a line of credit if you've never talked to your bank. Of course, and the last thing is really on a lot of flat roofing projects, you're going to get paid a little bit later. And this we're going to talk about a little bit when we move into the commercial side, is you may get paid a little bit later. And there's a lot of just different manufacturers. So if you've been doing sloped roofing your whole life and now you're wanting to do flat roofing, you're going to have to meet a whole new bunch of manufacturers and reps and that whole 9 yards. And your local supply company, if you're using kind of a mom and pop supplier, may not have the products that you need to start doing flat roofing projects. All right, so now let's talk specifically about residential versus commercial. So maybe you're only a residential roofing contractor and you only do shingles. Guys, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what makes you happy and how you want to run your company, do that. But if we're going to compare residential versus commercial, there is an opportunity on a lot of residential jobs to start making kind of the dollars that you make on commercial projects. Now, we're not talking about roofing Walmart. We're talking about some of the smaller commercial projects in some of these, but there's a lot of really good money to be made in residential as well. Now, some of the ways I think that you can make a little bit more money in residential is being able to offer some specialty type roofing systems. That includes metal, cedar shakes, slate, synthetic, any kind of copper systems. All of those are higher end roofs, and it's really hard to find, not only contractors that know how to do it, but also the subcontractors. So in a project like this, there's 400 squares of DECRA or a stone-coated steel shingle that are going to be installing on here. And so you have to find contractors that can do that type of work. So one of the bonuses on residential, particularly on shingles, is there is a ton of subcontractors to choose from. Are all of them good? No, but there are a ton to choose from, and it's a lot easier to find those crews. Now, residential, for me, and the reason that my company specifically doesn't do residential anymore is because we hate chasing money, and we feel like you have to work really, really hard to make a little bit. Now, I'm in an area where our company is located in North Alabama. If we want to do residential locally, the profit margins just aren't as good as in some of the other areas, or the total size of the roof and cost of the roof is just less money, so the margins are a little bit tighter. So that's why we personally don't do residential. But the good thing about residential, though, is you do get to get paid fast. So if you're just starting a company versus you trying to run off and do a project like this, you could go bankrupt overnight. We'll talk about that a little bit on the commercial side. Residential is really great because you can collect your money fast, get your bankroll up, and really learn the business before you jump into some of these larger projects on the commercial side. So most of the time, if you've been around for a long time, you might even be able to work out deals with your homeowners where you get half up front, half after the job, or however you want to set it up. Now, if it's an insurance claim, they give you the RCV and you collect ACV and deductible afterwards, or whatever the case is. And there's always people needing residential houses. That's just never going to go away. Now, on the commercial side, one of the things you have to be ready for when you start working on the commercial side is a lot of times you're not going to get paid anything up front. So you're going to have to, again, bankroll all that money, just like we talked about earlier with talking about flat roofing. And if you talk about commercial, we're talking about bankrolling a lot of money up front. And then most of these companies that are going to hire you for flat roofing, a lot of times they have their payment terms on net 30, net 60, net 90. And what that means is after you send them the invoice, they're going to pay you 30 days, 60 days, 90 days afterwards. Case in point, we did a big apartment complex down in South Florida back last year. We actually finished the project in April of this year. So April 20th, I actually billed the company. It is now November the 18th, and I still have not been paid my retainage on that project. So a lot of times you have to be able to bankroll a lot of that money on your commercial projects. Now, also with commercial, you've got to learn how to do B2B sales versus on the residential side, you're doing business to consumer or B2C sales. So learning how to do B2B sales will be a big deal. And if you just start saying, hey, I'm only doing commercial, I'm gonna quit doing residential, understand that it might take a little bit longer for those, not just the leads to come in, but also getting the deals done, because normally you're talking about a bigger sum of money. So it's just something you have to be cognizant of if you want to start doing commercial work. Now, I really like commercial work, and of course we do federal government contracting as well, just because I feel like I can do just a few really good projects a year and make a lot more, or not necessarily a lot more, but make more than me doing 100 or 200 or 500 residential projects throughout the year. So for me, I'd like to do, and our company does, less projects to make more profit, versus on residential, you're trying to do volume. So that's kind of really the big difference between the two and how you want to set your company up. Now, if you want to do volume and you really like doing residential sales and stuff, do residential, man. But if you want to start doing more of the commercial work and you want to do more of the B2B sales and you want to do larger projects and just do less of them per year, then do these. But guys, I promise you, one of the things that I have to tell you in this video is if you jump off to start doing commercial projects, you have to be prepared. If you don't have a mentor yet, find a mentor and talk to them, because a project like this, this project's in excess of $1 million. If things go wrong, you can go bankrupt in a hurry. So just make sure that you do your due diligence if you do hop into some large commercial jobs, and make sure you find a mentor. Guys, thanks a lot for watching the video. If you can, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, here's my official invitation for you to subscribe. I think we have a lot of great information for you contractors out there. There's always a digital roofing innovations. We believe in using a modern approach with traditional values. Have a great day.